Hi guys, it is Aurora with Goddess Gatherings, and today we're going to go over your 2024. We're doing it a little bit differently today. We've got crystals, and then we have this beautiful tea that I am brewing. I've got myself a little cup right here, and if you recognize the flower, you'll know that it is Blue Lotus tea. So today you're going to be choosing between the clear quartz. I think this is a variation of like jade, and then the Blue Lotus tea. So take a moment to figure out what appeals the most to you, what feels right, and then you can meet me down in the timestamp for your personal 2024 video. Okay, so if you're here, that means that you chose the clear quartz for your video, and this is going to be a just quick review of your 2024. So we have the overall vibe, and then we have spring, summer, fall, and winter. So let's jump right into it. What is our overall vibe? Okay, we've got the 9 of stones in reverse. Let's show it to you right side up. Okay, so right off the bat, I really enjoy, and also sorry, I'm sure there's a little bit of a glare from the ring light. I love my apartment, but the lighting's kind of sus. So we've got him holding a really cool snake. I love his antlers. They immediately make me think of Kronos. And then this ring kind of style bracelet, like a ringlet bracelet. Does that make sense? Anyway, so the 9 of stones tradition is what we have. We have this shaman who's doing probably a ritual that's been passed down from shaman to shaman. And I feel like all of these stones in the background, I feel like they almost represent his ancestors, the tradition that's been passed down from person to person, right? We've got this beautiful full moon, which we did have on Christmas or right around Christmas this year, but very ominous, very powerful. And we have it in reverse. So right off the bat, it makes me think that you're the kind of person who is not going to follow tradition just for the sake of tradition. You're going to follow it because it feels right to you. So this is going to be a year of you building and creating your own traditions. I'm going to take a little sip of tea. Holy crap, that tea's really good. Okay. The person who purchased this tea for me watches my videos. Sarah, if you are watching this one, thank you, because it's amazing. So, yeah. Let's get back into it. Okay, spring. Spring, we have these 7 of arrows in reverse. Insecurity. Yeah. Pretty straightforward with this one. Her mind is trapping her, it is poisoning her and hurting her, and keeping her from being the luscious, vivacious character that she would be otherwise. And I do say that I love that we have this in reverse. So right off the bat, it makes me think that we are ridding ourselves of our insecurities. We are ridding ourselves of the thought processes that keep us from moving forward, that keep us from living our most vibrant, beautiful lives, right? That's a great way to start the year. You are just shedding those worries and those thought patterns away. For the summer, ooh, the King of Bows, the King of Bows, adder. So unfortunately, I don't know quite a lot about adder snakes, but all I can think of with this card, with the change and the transformation that's always represented with snakes, and with this particular kind of pile, there are snakes that when they fight, it's like all the male snakes in like this area in this giant pile and this giant like tangle fighting to see who gets to mate. And this king here, this one on top, he is very clearly the victor. I don't know if they're fighting for his throne, but with this King of Bows, it lets me know that whatever the summer throws your way, whatever change, whatever challenges come your way, you are going to be the victor. You are able to very clearly and very succinctly navigate through whatever changes come your way. You're also able to change yourself into whatever version of yourself you need in order to thrive in a situation. right? If you need to be a wittier, drier version of yourself, you can do that. If you need to be a more physical version of yourself, you learn how to, build those physical skills. If you need to be the funny guy at wherever you are in the summer, you're going to be able to be the funny guy. You're able to see all these different aspects of yourself, all these different aspects of your personality, and inflate and deflate them in whatever way is necessary in order for you to come out on top. And it's not deceiving, it's not trickery, it's just you learning a crowd and also understanding yourself. You're not being deceitful, you're not being untrue to who you are as a person. You are just learning how to go with the flow in the most creative way possible. So a very fiery summer. We love that. Now for fall, I'm not quite enjoying that. We've got the 8 of arrows. We went from 7 in reverse to 8 upright. We have struggle. So despite our ability to transform and to change and to maneuver, it seems like we are still going to be in a little bit of difficulty during the fall. Now, this is with arrows, right? So it might be that whatever challenges you faced in the summer, might be that we're having a little bit of mental whiplash with that. I know for myself, I can be very, very easily influenced. Hate to say it, but it can, but I can. And I find that if I hang out with, certain kinds of personalities of any type, just strong personalities, I'll take on those traits very easily. I find myself mimicking my coworkers' phrases, their body language, especially if it's in a close kind of quarters environment. And I get the sense that you're having a second of pause. You're having a little bit of difficulty shaking off whatever situation you had in the summer. I feel like whatever personality type you had to adapt in order to come out on top, we're taking a second to shake it off and find who we are again. That mental peace is what we're struggling to find. So let's find out how the winter ends. Hell freaking yeah. You are able to do it. And in fact, I think more than ever, you are able to embrace and celebrate who you are next winter. So let's look at this shaman, right? We're going to scoop these. We're going to look at the shaman. He is something. And I'm sorry if you hear like shuffling noises. My border collie is mad that I'm not giving him attention, and he's losing his mind over in the corner. If you have a working dog, you know how it goes. Yeah, I'm talking about you, mister. So we love this shaman. This is this deck's version of the magician, right? He is wise. He is intelligent, because there is a difference between wisdom and intelligence. It's the difference between book smarts and street smarts. Like, we all know it. We've all seen it. And you're realizing that you are able to create whatever you need in order to survive, right? Because you're not going with traditions, right? You're not going with the same old that your family has provided you, that, maybe your culture has provided you. And because of that, you were a little anxious. You have had to pivot a lot. It has been hard for you to kind of find your core sense of being, but you're realizing that you'll always have that core sense of being. And no matter what, you're going to be able to create and adapt to whatever situation is thrown your way. You're going to be able to create any kind of world in which you can thrive, because you don't need set rules and standards. You're able to create your own set rules and standards. So thank you for being here. Thanks for tuning in. If you would like your own 2024 year ahead reading, know that you can find that, of course, on my website. I have 2 different options. You can sign up either for a quick summary in a 15-minute reading, or if you want to deep dive, we can always do the hour-long session. So I also have a wonderful self-paced journal on creating an alter ego of yourself, worshiping it, and using that worship as a way to become your best self, coming out in February. I'm hoping I can launch it fully on Valentine's Day as a little gift of self-love and a little bit of self-care. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, so if you are here, you are pile number 2, and it means that you chose this lovely green stone. So I'm fairly certain it's a variation of jade. You know, I bought it a while ago at a lovely shop in New Braunfels and just have not remembered to write down. So, thanks for being here. We have one of my favorite decks with me today, and we've got our overview for the year. Your spring, summer, fall, and winter. This is that tea that I had earlier. So, you know, give me a second if I take a moment to refresh myself with a little drink, and let's jump into it. Ooh, that is a juicy year right off the bat. It is the Strength card as your overall card. Now, this Strength card is interesting because they typically have some sort of human aspect in them. But this one is just filled with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different lions. I think I see a 7th one's mane here. And maybe just like a specter of a person in the back. But you are roaring. You are stating your facts. You are stating your truths this year. And you are doing it with, you know, full chest. You are not allowing anyone to slow you down and keep you from living your best life and keep you from being your most authentic self. So kudos to you in 2024, because that takes bravery that not everyone has. I'm going to go ahead and flip the rest. Ooh. Lots of reversals. Okay, and then ending it right side up. Okay. So your spring has us in Judgment, which is a very, very interesting liminal card, specifically Judgment in reverse. So let's show it right side up. So Judgment to me has always felt like a call to where you belong. It's like Judgment Day, and it's not like, ooh, you're gonna die, oh, God's come for you. It's more like you're being called home. And this is a very interesting liminal space here. It's an open door with this beautiful kind of Van Gogh reminiscent swirling rainbow, right? And it's a little heavy. And it's interesting that after getting a card that says, you know, you're going to be living your best year, you're going to be stating your truth, for you to be called home in some sort of way. But it is in reverse, so I think that we are doing just the opposite of that. I think that we are leaving home. I think that maybe at one point we thought that that is where we were called, but it's not. Wherever you are this spring, it's going to be somewhere new for you. You're going to be feeling maybe a little shaky because we're doing something that we did not anticipate doing this year, because you truly did think that this situation was your home. It was going to be your landing spot, but we're finding maybe this shoe doesn't fit. And maybe that's part of why you need that strength, is because I get the sense that more than just you had the thought that this was your final resting place. This was your home. And once again, not in a death kind of way, but just in a, wow, this is really my group. This is really my niche. There's a lot of opinions here wrapped up in you leaving where you thought you belonged. Turns out you don't belong, and that's okay, because now by leaving, you're getting one step closer to finding that true place. So spring has you making a big, big move. Let's jump into summer. Summer, we have the Two of Swords in reverse. Now, the Two of Swords is a decision, right? It's a testing of your skills. Do you pass or do you fail? And with it in reverse, I'm having a moment. Let me just take a second. Oh, I love this tiny butterfly here. I'm not quite sure if you can see it. I love this deck, but it does not film the best because it is so swirly. It is very, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the art style, but anyway. It's really going to bother me that I can't think of the art style. I'm going to take a drink of tea really quick. I'll think of it later. Expressionist. Gosh, that took forever. You've got this mask on, right? You're blindfolded. You're only using your senses in order to come to the correct answer. You've got your two daggers, and we have this butterfly of transformation, right? Whichever way you go, pass or fail, this testing of your skills, it's going to lead to some sort of transformation. And I don't think whether or not you pass or fail is even important in this. I don't think there's truly even a test going on that matters. I think this is a test that you're putting on yourself. I think you just want to know that you can get through it. I think you just want to know that you can survive, right? Maybe things don't go exactly the way that you planned, but you just want to know that you can survive and that you are adaptable in maybe a way that your previous home, your previous place implied that you were not. So there's some sort of test that you're putting upon yourself this summer. Interesting. Now, moving into the fall, you have the 8 of Cups in reverse. And it's very mysterious. It's very fire-fueled, despite being a water cup. Sorry, a water-based card, a water-based element. And to me, this is always using your intuition to go into something unknown. Very similar to the Moon card. But whereas like the Moon card is just kind of like gut instinct, moving you forward. It's kind of like, I know I need to do this. This is always blind. It feels like you're working just on your emotions. It feels very flighty in a kind of way, normally. But for you, it doesn't feel flighty. It feels very purposeful. I think this is the second part of your test. This is just a lot of movement. You have a lot of decisions going on this year. And I'm sorry, my dog just booped me with his paw. He always cracks me up because he'll be so just chill, sleepy, and then as soon as I start reading, he'll always like get really, really activated. And he's like, you're talking, but you're not talking to me. I don't see Dad. Who are you talking to? Well, if you're gonna be active, why don't you just pet me? And I don't think he realizes I need 2 hands to do these. My right hand right now is petting him as he's like halfway under my desk. So if you hear any panting, that is Bruce saying hello and asking for attention and hitting his entire body on my desk, as he is wont to do with his big booty. Wow, this tea is really good. So in the fall, you are leaving once again, or maybe continuing your journey. Maybe you never really sat down in one place. Maybe you're still pivoting, but whatever place you're going to, it's going to be full of transformation and full of a lot of emotional transformation for you, right? And that's going to be beautiful. You're making a very informed decision. You're not rushing into it. Now, people might perceive you as rushing into it, but I don't think that that is true. And then for the end of the year, for the winter, we have the 2 of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles, we know, are health, wealth, and happiness. So far, we haven't had any. We've had air, we've had water, and now we have earth. And with this 2 of Pentacles, you're doing a little bit of a juggling act, but it's from a solid foundation, right? Typically, the 2 of Pentacles has someone on a unicycle, right? They're on unsteady ground, but not you. You've built this solid foundation for yourself, and you're able to juggle quite comfortably. And it feels like a form of entertainment for yourself, right? Wherever you are at the end of this year, you're going to be busy, but it's not going to be overly stressful. You're going to have a solid foundation underneath you, and that's going to allow you to have fun and be playful in maybe a new way that you haven't been before. But all of this is going to take your strength, right? And what I think is cute here is I really get the sense that you don't even realize that you're saying things with your chest. You don't even realize that what you're doing takes guts. It's almost like this is just second nature to you. And it's only when you look back and you see that you've built this foundation, you've built this wall, this safety, this security, that you're like, oh, I guess I did do a lot this year. I almost feel like we're not a very self-aware person. I feel like we've just kind of been pushed to this edge where we're just like, something's gotta give, and I guess I'll move, and I guess this is not it, so like I'm just gonna go somewhere else. That's kind of the vibe that I get here. I say that as someone who does that often. But yes, So if you made it this far, thank you. Thanks for letting me read for you. Thanks for taking the time. Of course, if you would like your own more personal reading, you can find me at venusblooms.com. Also, please keep an eye out for Alter Ego, which is my self-paced journal that allows you to identify and create your ideal self and then take the steps towards becoming that ideal self. I think that it's really fantastic for people like those who chose this reading, who maybe have a hard time identifying with their feelings and their emotions and their desires, and need solid step-by-step guides to achieve their goals. I honestly am that person, and I think that Alter Ego has been a fantastic guide for me to achieve the goals that I have in life. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, here, that's because you chose the cute little teacup full of the delicious, oh, I've gone blank. Oh, what is it? Blue Lotus tea. So I've got my little teeny tiny teacup here, and we're going to go over your 2024 tarot reading. So we have your overview, we have your spring, summer, fall, and winter, and hiccups. Wow, let's just jump right into it. If I can flip it, pop it. Okay, so our overall card for the year is the Hierophant in reverse. So the Hierophant is the, sorry, I was thinking of the Emperor for a second. The Hierophant is all about rules, traditions, values, right? They are essentially like the high priest, counterpart to the high priestess. And when I see the Hierophant in reverse, it makes me think that you are creating your own rules and traditions, right? You are no longer going with the status quo of what was given to you, and are instead, doing your own research, putting your own time and energy into creating new standards, new rules for yourself, new structure. So what I really like about the Hierophant is that even when they are right side up, they are a very educated person. Now, whether that is like classically educated and like, a collegiate kind of style, or if it is like someone who takes it upon themselves to do their own research, or honestly, even just having street smarts, because it takes a certain kind of person for them to understand the world that they live in and the reality. Because you can have all of the book smarts in the world, but if you don't know how to survive out there, you're not going to do well. If you are the kind of person who doesn't understand social settings and, social norms and expectations, your life is going to be a lot more difficult. This is, coming from someone who has difficulty understanding those things. So I really appreciate the Hierophant's willingness to learn and their eagerness to learn and study so that they can, either influence or survive the world that they are in. So you are doing that, but you're doing it on your own means this year. Good for you. It's kind of been a vibe for this year. Okay, so with the Three of Pentacles as your spring, Three of Pentacles in reverse, more specifically, I get the sense that you are building a foundation, but you're building it kind of without teamwork. There's an inherent kind of group environment and group aspect to the Three of Pentacles. It's often like two masters teaching I was about to say an intern. Wow, I can't think of the word, so we're going to go intern. Maybe that's important for you. Maybe you are an intern somewhere. It's usually two masters teaching an intern how to do something, right? So we've got this person here, that's definitely the professor. We have the model here, and then we have the student who is learning how to draw. Maybe you're leaving your place of study, Maybe you have your foundation and you're leaving your place of study to create something on your own. I don't know, but there's something solo dolo that you have to do this spring. Let me know what that is. I'm nosy. Yeah. And we have the Page of Swords for your summer. So the Page of Swords in reverse makes me think that we're a little bit past that page stage, right? And you are taking those lessons that you learned and you're tweaking it. You're saying, I'm more experienced. I don't have to rely on those solid go-tos. I don't have to rely on those old rules and studies. Like, no, you don't have to match your belt with your shoes anymore. Like, yeah, it does look good, but you don't have to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's always going to be fine, But if you mix and match, if you have a little fun, you might get a little bit more personality in there, right? And that's what you're thinking here. You're thinking, oh, well, yeah, I could do those old studies. I could do it just the way that my masters taught me how to do it, but I don't want to. I want to learn on my own. I want to make my own standards. I want to make my own practices, you know? So very exciting electric summer. Ooh, very swordsy. Very swordsy. Okay. So we have the Two of Swords in reverse. Oh, man, there was another deck that had the Two of Swords. Maybe you were stuck between the two. What was it? Oh, it was pile number 2. So I wonder if you considered going into pile number 2. Maybe you were just thirsty when you chose this and that's why you went with the T. But yes, so the Two of Swords in reverse, it's kind of a testing of your skill, right? You're blindfolded. You've got your 2 swords. We're at high stakes with you over the cliff. And it also always has felt like a decision to me, right? I can't exactly tell you why it feels like a decision. Maybe it's just because of the dual nature of the number 2. But with your fall, I think you're taking one last look back. You know, am I going to go with my gut, or am I going to fully commit? Because I feel like if you fully commit to whatever this is, whatever testing of your skills is, I feel like you're going to have to go all out. This is not a half-ass situation. And I also am almost getting the vibe that it's not even you who's testing yourself. I feel like you are being tested. I feel like maybe someone is observing your art. Someone is observing your work and wondering, this person's going in blind. How are they going to do? So let's find out. How are you going to do? Oh, we love it. Oh, yeah, you were definitely really, really called to group number 2 as well, because group number 2 got the Strength card. All of these readings today are surprisingly similar in vibes. Whatever it is about 2024, a lot of us are going out on our own, striking out on our own in order to be our truest versions of ourselves. And that's exactly what you're doing here this year. The winter is going to have you fully aware of your strength, fully aware of the courage that it has taken you to be where you are and master this beast of a project, this beast of an endeavor. And you're doing it with a kind of quiet, sweet strength. You know what I mean? Because she's not prying the lion's mouth open like we often are in the Strength card. Instead, they're walking side by side and she's petting them. She is both, you know, aware of the dignity that the lion deserves, but also soft enough with it that the lion doesn't even feel the need to bare its teeth. You know, you don't attack someone who's not a threat. And that's how this lion sees you, right? This situation, whatever it is, the universe or the university or the group, whoever it is that was testing you, you were able to shock them and you were able to impress them without having to pop off, if that makes sense. Like, you're able to casually master the situation and show them that you can handle whatever it is that you throw at them despite not following the traditional rules and structures. So that is amazing. Good for you for doing your own thing. I am very proud of you, as will you be proud of yourself at the end of this year. Wow, Bruce is proud of you too. I don't know if you heard that little snort he made. But if you made it this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. I had a lovely time. If you would like your own reading, feel free to reach out. You can find me at venusblooms.com. And please keep an eye out for my self-paced journal that I'll be releasing hopefully in February called Alter Ego. It is a journal that allows you to create and find your highest version of yourself, and then also gives you a path to end up as that final version of yourself, as that highest version of yourself. I find that it works really well for people who have a hard time identifying and understanding their feelings and need concrete step-by-step guides. I know that I am that person, and even just the act of creating Alter Ego has been insanely helpful for me for getting closer to the version of myself that I've always dreamed of being. So I hope you have a fantastic year. Can't wait to see you next time.